Hi, I'm Dorothy Gable, and this is the Dorothy Gable Books YouTube channel. This is another video in the creative writing series on my journey of how I went from having stories in my head to having publishable novels. If you find this video helpful, click the like. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, these videos are not going to focus on the mechanics of writing a story. There are many good books, classes, online classes, articles about perspective and pacing and plotting and those kinds of things. But I will say the most important things that I remember from going through that process over the years where I tried to figure out how to write a novel was show, don't tell. Use the fewest words possible and let the scenes live within you so that as you write, your reader gets to live the scene as well. The big point of this video is going to be about editors and beta readers. After we left the mission field, I became an accountant, and one of the realities of the accounting profession is being under review. What this means is that you graduate college with a degree in accounting, you know all this stuff, but you don't really know how to do a project or write a report or do many other things an accountant has to do. You really can't develop your skill as an accountant right out of college unless you're under review. And it's just a part of the profession. Every accountant's work is checked and double-checked before it's released. So the review process is how an accountant will develop the skills they need so that they can help a business. The same way with writing. We are too close to our work. We've been writing it for months, hours. So we're going to have a lot of blind spots. So we need positive critics that will help improve our writing, fix our project, so that it would be something that others will want to read and see. I'll caution you, as you try to find these editors or reviewers, flee the ones who are destructive. There are destructive ones. I had one woman that I asked to help me who wasn't a help at all, and I actually stopped writing for a period of time because she was so destructive in her comments. It was as if, why was I even bothering? Now, I'm going to talk about the various kinds of editors that are in the profession and that are going to be a part of the editing mix that's going to make your book ready for others to see. The first one is a developmental editor. They're going to look at the book from the 30,000-foot level. As in a fiction novel, they're going to be looking at plotting and the story arc. They're going to be looking at the placement of the pacing, but they're not going to get down into the nitty-gritty details. In my earlier video, I talked about a developmental editor who helped with my dementia caregiving book, who helped me to see what I needed to do to make it a resource for anyone who is trying to care for someone with dementia. The next major type of editor is the line or technical one. This is the wonderful person who is going to lift your writing style, remove awkward phrases, going to help fix your grammar mistakes. As I write each book and my editor sends it back and I see how I'm making mistakes over and over again, I'm beginning to learn so that she's finding fewer grammar errors and she's finding fewer mistakes in certain areas, but she's also able to help raise the level of my writing, polish it, make it more presentable so I can feel comfortable sending it off for publication. Then there are also the content or the facts editors. A novel, for it to make sense, has to interact with the real world. And if you have chosen to set the action in a known city, you need to make sure that your references fit reality. If you're referencing food or houses or you have an action scene with a gun or a bow or an arrow, or you're talking about riding horses or shoeing a horse, you'd better make sure that the details you do include are factual or real. So a good content and fact editor will key in on those things. The other one is timing issues or geography or any number of things where as the reader's going along and suddenly the author is talking about an automatic revolver. If you know what a revolver is, no revolver is ever going to be automatic. Now you have given the reader a hard stop and they're looking, all right, wait a minute, doesn't sound right. Okay, now you've broken that dream state that you've wanted them to have as they were part of the story in that section. You can use friends and associates who might be able to help you with this, but you also might want to consider hiring a professional. There are very many good, reasonably priced professional Christian editors online. Just be aware of scammers. Unfortunately, if you do publish anything, you're going to be inundated with scammers or marketing or promotional deals that won't help you. But there are also now scammers that they will present themselves as editors who just want to steal your manuscript so they can publish it before you get around to it. The other part of being editing is also your beta readers. Beta readers are friends or associates who are willing to read an almost ready to go manuscript. They're your last line of defense. And I've been really amazed how with some projects the Lord has brought such a varied group of beta readers who catch mistakes that all of the other editors that had looked at it before had missed. Even I had missed it. So don't be afraid to include others in your process, even though writing a novel is, yes, a lonely job where you will spend many hours at your chair typing away. But there's also time to bring in other people to help you with this review process. Now, the very first top editor begins with me, the writer. So you as an author, don't take off your hat and assume that someone else is going to do this work for you. My next video is going to talk about ways I've found to help me keep track of all the various details and names and spellings and data that goes along with a big book so that you can do the top editing. You can fix as many mistakes as you possibly can. Of course, this means you're going to go through it many times. Don't worry, that's just all part of it. If you know you're supposed to be a published author, the Lord will continue to give the encouragement and the stamina and the motivation to see this through from idea in your head to an actual book that someone says, oh, this was a real blessing to me. Thanks for watching. Also, thanks for my husband, Ralph Gable, my videographer and producer, who is a creator of Electronics for the Inquisitive Experimenter.